Today's 5 minutes of free advice brought to you by 7 Generation Games is all about it will be all right. It's no big deal. Just keep this in mind. I was reading another book by George Eliot, who it turns out was actually Mary Ann Evans, a woman. Seems like that'll be on some AP English exam someday, so I thought I should throw that in. The Victorians, who she wrote about, were obsessed with not thinking about sex. Did a man's hand brush your petticoat? Did he see you standing there? Was he speaking to your daughter? People thought about that all day. And then they got together and discussed it all day with their friends, which maybe was excusable if you were Victorian and you could get thrown out in the street if the lord of the manor was displeased with you, and you'd have to go to work in some sweatshop factory until you caught tuberculosis and then died. That would pretty much suck. And I'm not sure we're all that much more advanced. You think so? Well, I beg to differ. I think the world is full of people who worry so much whether they're singing the Christmas carols off key that they totally forget to enjoy Christmas because they're still thinking about whether the neighbor noticed that they forgot the second verse of Silent Night. Come on, be honest. Maybe it isn't singing or Christmas carols or petticoats, but can you honestly tell me that there's never been a time you sat around the office and spent the whole day complaining that Bob took credit for finishing the website when all he did was push a button to upload it and you did all the work? I can tell you were really upset about it too. I know, I've been you. Or you stayed at the office after everyone had gone and you were exhausted, but you had to get this report out. What about that? If you don't work until midnight, you might lose the contract. You might lose the sales. It's not the end of the world. So what if you do? No one has ever had the cause of death written as lost sales. Emergency rooms are not full of people from an epidemic of reports getting in late. Now, I'm the last person in the world to say that you need to not work and just go with the flow and pay your bills by magic. In fact, I'm pretty much the exact opposite of that. What I am saying, though, is that too often we are no different than the Victorians. We spend a whole lot of time worrying about that stuff that doesn't matter at all. What if my friends see me eating this junk food that is full of gluten? How will that fit with my image as an athlete? Or even worse, what if you really did lose your job and now you're working as a janitor? Keep it up and eventually you may own the place. Or not. Plenty of people work as janitors, raise families, go to church, enjoy the church fair, and just have a generally decent life. We're like the Victorians in that regard. What? A man spoke to you in a room without a chaperone? Horrors! What do you mean you don't have a chauffeur? You take the subway to work. And you ran into that person you thought was cute, and they were in their chauffeur-driven car, and you took the subway, and now they probably won't even look at you. Yep, you're right. They probably won't. Jerks. However, if you put your phone down and quit swearing about your bad luck, maybe you'll meet someone on the subway who turns out to be really nice and doesn't judge you because you don't own a Bentley. Next thing you know, you'll be on your honeymoon. Maybe it will be in San Diego instead of Switzerland. But you know what? San Diego is pretty nice and you'll have a good time. And you'll get another contract to replace that contract you didn't get. And your new job that replaces the old job will be just fine. Even if you don't have a Bentley, it will be all right. And that's tonight's 5 minutes of free advice brought to you by 7 Generation Games. Games that make you smarter. If you want to be smarter or show your gratitude, go on over to www.7generationgames.com and buy a game or donate one to a child or school.